Recently, Deepali saw an ad of Zerodha which had launched passive ELSS fund. Deepali knows about ELSS fund. She has also invested in a tax-saver ELSS fund. However, she has no idea about this passive ELSS fund. She is shocked. Do you know about passive ELSS fund? If not, then don't worry. We will tell you everything on Money9. First, let's understand what is ELSS fund. Well, ELSS stands for Equity Linked Savings Scheme, and it falls under equity category of mutual funds. In this scheme, fund managers invest a minimum of 80% of the corpus in equity or equity related options. Now, let's understand what passive ELSS funds are. Well, according to Securities and Exchange Board of India, circular dated May 23, 2022, asset management companies have been allowed to launch passive ELSS mutual funds or index fund from July 1, 2022. Well, passive funds have several advantages such as low volatility, consistent return, freedom from any bias of the fund manager, etc. Passive funds follow a predefined benchmark and strive to replicate the performance of the index. According to SEBI, these funds will be categorized as other scheme similar to index fund or fund of funds. The existing actively managed ELSS funds will be referred to as active ELSS funds and will remain in equity mutual fund category. Like other passive funds, passive ELSS funds attempt to closely replicate the performance of benchmark or index. However, this fund will invest in the 250 largest companies based on the market capitalization in the stock market. Therefore, benchmarks for this fund could include Nifty 50, Nifty 100, Nifty 200 and so on. Now, expense ratio of the passive ELSS fund is typically lower as compared to an active ELSS fund, providing an additional benefit. In equity funds, the expense ratio usually ranges from 1.5 to 2%, while in index funds, it can be as low as 0.5%. A lower expense ratio implies that returns on investment could potentially be better due to reduced cost. Now, let's also understand how taxes are applied to passive ELSS funds. Passive ELSS funds comes with 3-year lock-in period. As a result, investors cannot incur any short-term capital gains during this period. So, a tax of 10% is applied to long-term capital gains on any fund. However, the relief is that no tax is levied on capital gains up to 1 lakh rupees. So, from tax perspective, it is another beneficial aspect. Now, besides this, one more benefit aspect is that for investment up to 1.5 lakh rupees in a financial year, you can also avail of tax deduction under Section 80C. This means that your taxable income will be reduced by up to 1.5 lakh rupees due to these investments. Now, let's look at how returns are generated on passive ELSS funds. The 361 ELSS Tax Saver Nifty 50 Index Fund was launched in December 2022, followed by Navi ELSS Tax Saver Nifty 50 Index Fund in March 2023. Zerodha Mutual Fund recently launched the Zerodha ELSS Tax Saver Nifty Large Mid Cap 250 Index Fund. So, according to data up to 7th November 2023, these funds have provided an average return of around 8% over the past 6 months. So, should you invest in passive ELSS fund? Now, additional benefit of tax saving increase the attractiveness of this fund. It can be apt for those investors that are conservative and are not in favor of investing in active ELSS fund. Currently, ELSS funds are new entrants in the passive category. Hence, investors need to assess their performance for some time. Now, if you really want to invest in them, then it's better to consult a financial advisor.